George Perez inked him in that Man of Tomorrow, Alan Moore comic. And I gotta say, I hated seeing Superman crying in the Fortress of Solitude. I just hated it. It's like the Brits couldn't wait to see Superman crying. That's how I saw it. Truly, they couldn't wait to fuck up our superheroes. Some of those guys, and they're leftists. And I wouldn't put it past them that that's what they wanted is I want to see Superman crying, and then they built a story around that. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. These guys are nihilists. A piece of shit Alan Moore did an interview once for Comics Journal. And of course, him and Gary Groth got along, two commies, even though he fancied himself a anarchist. Please, he wore a goddamn hammer and sickle t-shirt out there publicly, took a picture of it, I guess posted it online, who knows, years ago someone did. He's talking to his daughter. His daughter calls him on 9/11, and she tells him what happened. He goes, interesting. Now, that piece of shit didn't just say that. He shared it in an interview, meaning he wants us to know that he was indifferent to human life to that extent, that asshole. Interesting. As in, I wouldn't have thought of that. That's a piece of shit. Human life is an imbalance. People are dying, and he's like, The only thing he remembers of that day to say is not like, this is a global war against the West. We have to destroy this enemy. It said, interesting. Yeah. Like that piece of shit. Anyway, I can't stand him. And I will also enjoy and, look at the Watchmen as a good piece of work. I can separate it. But he's such an asshole. And he's been saying for the last decade now, anyone who reads comics, you're an idiot, you're a fool, this and that. Fuck you, Alan. That's how you made your bones, piece of shit. That's how you made your bones. We wouldn't know you if you didn't make superhero comics. If you didn't do Watchmen, who the hell are you? Swamp Thing, please. I tried to read it. I couldn't do it. It's supposedly the greatest thing ever? No, not really. I love comics. I can read anything. Sandman, couldn't get into it. Not because he's a piece of shit now, and we know that, but I couldn't get into it. The Eternals that Gaiman wrote with John Romita Jr. I got it because John Romita Jr., and I was like, okay. I don't know what happened. I forgot. Anyway. It was their moment to bring some of our heroes down. And then you got some of those stuff like some of that depraved stuff that they did. Mark Millar, I think, with The Authority, having a stand-in for Captain America, raping someone, raping one of the heroes in The Authority, or just sick stuff. Sick stuff. Anyway, I'm going to read a few more here and go through some of this art. But yeah, Headless Bourgeois, Kurt Swan did also draw Superman's head over the Toth one, and I preferred the Toth one. He made Superman look like he was an average guy walking around, happened to be wearing a Superman suit. That's how it came off to me. And some of it I did like. Maybe with certain inkers, sometimes it was pretty good. But I didn't like the domestication of Superman to that extent. It looked like just some schmo. Art says, a remark is when you draw on the cover itself to make it unique. I see. For example, Rob Liefeld will draw extra blood and gunsmoke. Interesting. Okay. I see. Now, I'm assuming those things, do they leave it open, like when they design the page, when they design the cover, do they leave a certain part of it open to add that? I'm assuming they do, because I'd never heard that. How? I don't know. I never have. I've seen things like that where artists have drawn certain things, but I didn't know it was by design. I thought it was just something that they did after the fact. Art says, yeah, Flady, Punisher War Machine is one of my favorite things. Love that skin in the Marvel Heroes game. A man called Plush. Hey, Plush, I want to get my hands on Baron's Punisher. Yeah, that was good. It was good. Mike's work on that. Chuck's work on that was also good. With John Romita Jr., with Buscema, with Kubert. He got a real awesome crew on there, man. Legends. Flady says, now, guys, I don't know. This is just, I'm engaged here, so I'm going to read your remarks to the other guys if you don't mind. But if you do, let me know. Just curious. Flady says to Plush, yeah, Baron started the character off right and set the bar high. Shame many since then have failed to even try to maintain it. Yeah. Flady one says, LOL, even this star brand has the flat fingers. It does. It does. It really does. It's pretty funny. DJ Gravy Mix says, it blows my mind people think Rorschach isn't a hero of Watchmen. I know. Same here. John says, what's your all-time favorite story arc in comics? Daredevil Born Again. Hands down. I like a lot. I mean, I love Simonson's. I love, Daredevil Born Again. Best story. Best writing by Miller ever. And then my favorite comic book overall, Dark Knight Returns. Batman Year One. Secret Wars, Roger Stern run with John Romita Jr., the Hobgoblin story. A lot of stuff, man. Just the Amazing Spider-Man, the original one with Ditko. I got all my hardcovers, all my omnibuses here. I have the art editions here. Daredevil Born Again. Yeah, it's easy. Just that, epic. Yeah, DJ Grave Mix. And again, if you guys had never heard me talk about this, I will mention it again. I have a little video of it. I was on Katie Ditt's channel a while back, and I discussed the idea. If you haven't read Watchmen, I wouldn't recommend you listening. You should read it. It's a good piece of work. My watch tells me go to bed. I got a few hours left, so I'm going to have to change that. But anyway, just quick. If you guys want to hear me talk about this for 1 second. Rorschach. Alan Moore had the Charlton characters lined up to be the characters for The Watchmen. Captain Atom, The Question, some of the other characters. Captain Atom as Dr. Manhattan, and it ended up being, that they did some reason. I think DC wanted to retain those characters for later use and said, just make up your own. It comes, because they didn't want to get too involved. They said, let's make it some kind of, I guess, I don't know if it was called Elseworlds at that time, but something off the grid, not something within their universe. So he did that, but he wanted to maintain the Question. So what he did was he tried to make a psychopathic version of the Question, and he, took Ditko. He resented clearly Ayn Rand's philosophy, objectivism. He stupidly called it white supremacist, which is retarded. Really, really retarded. But he admired Ditko. It's like, bro, Ditko came from that. He followed Ayn Rand's philosophy. He went to the courses in the 60s, the MBI classes, the Nathaniel Branden Institute in New York when Rand was there and Brandon was there. He's an objectivist. If you respect him and trash Rand, you're being stupid and you're trashing Ditko, and therefore the Question, and therefore Rorschach. What the idiot didn't realize, and he's too stupid to realize, he realized years later, as he regretted it, he expressed regret over it, is the fact that people did view Rorschach as the hero there, as the only compelling character in the entire goddamn graphic novel. The second guy was a comedian. The rest, pretty forgettable. So he tried to bring down objectivism, Ayn Rand, Ditko's character. And because literally he tried to make him, he gave him lifts, if you remember that. And he made him ugly, if you remember that as well. Unshaven, dirty, terrible, origin with his mother being a whore, and so on and so on. But he was just he was the straight shooter. He was the guy who would not, as he puts it, compromise even in the face of Armageddon. That's an immortal line that the dummy doesn't realize makes him the most compelling. Dr. Manhattan was a piece of shit. I don't appreciate human life. It means nothing to me. Super Boar. That should have been his name, Super Boar. He sucked. Visually, cool, by Gibbons. That's more fancying himself like I'd be beyond humanity at that point if I had that power. I will go to Mars, and I just wouldn't give a fuck for human life. He probably doesn't give a fuck now, more. He's so presumptuous, the asshole. Anyway, so he creates that, and Rorschach is still. He's the only true character in there. The only one real. Only one with blood in his veins. The only one who's pissed off at the bad guys. He wants to make evil pay. The only one who will not accept this big lie that they want everyone to stick to. He's like, you're joking. Like, what? The fuck out of here. So my point was this. It opens up. If you haven't read it, sorry, I may have ruined it already, but it's bookended. Watchmen is bookended. It starts off with the murder of the one right-wing character, and it ends with the murder of another right-wing character. And the left-leaning, globalist, liberal, whatever fanciful notion you want to use to wrap up Ozymandias, he gets to win by murdering millions of human beings. And Moore did that. I would never do that in stories. But then again, there's something that happens. It has to happen, but that's because of someone's direct action that goes back in Pigman. But anyway, that's a different story. But the point is that, like Mark Waid, he did 2 storylines where a superhero turns supervillain and kills billions of people. It's like, that's you, Mark. That's your fantasies. Why the fuck would you do that? That's sick. Anyway, it's bookended. Comedian gets it. First right-wing character, and I want to take out the last one in the last issue. And that's Moore. The nastiness of the left. The unforgiving nature of the left, that they can't forgive that there are others besides leftists around them. It's like, ugh, I'm going to kill them off. I'm going to kill off these 2 guys who bothered me. Piece of shit. And a good writer. Let me tell you how I really feel, right?